Last session, you hippie bitch. And yes, we did play last week, didn't we? Or did we? No, we played something else last week. I can't remember.
I thought we did.
I thought we did too. We fucking did.
These weeks run into each other, alright? I don't even know anymore.
No, wait.
We
Did
played
play?
last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We played at the.
You guys
different
went
time.
to the church. You finished the church fight rather, and Cillian Creed managed to get away with the help of another guy outside of the church. Whose name was? What's his name?
Oh, the
I don't think we
mafia
got his
guy.
name.
Cheese lover.
Oh,
the cheese lover.
his name did come up. He introduced himself at the start. He's like, "I'm this guy," and you're all like, "Yeah, you sound like a dick." What
Was he
his
the
name?
mafia guy? Because I forgot the mafia guy's
No,
name.
he wasn't Lorcan Cal.
Ah,
I
who
did.
the fuck is he?
His name was
Juan.
Juan. My name was
Excuse
Juan
me.
Castillo, and I go to jail for making
Dude.
sex with a goat.
Just do what I do and change NPCs' names every week. It's fine.
I would if they weren't like important names that I just then forget.
Like Grandma, because fuck, I
Yeah.
don't remember her name.
Oh, I'm so gutted I didn't write down her name. Leone Catal was his name.
That's right.
And he murdered, or attempted to murder, Heward Sesham, the alchemist and alchemical guy, the nephew of Nivad Sesham.
Was it
This
him
guy
that
said-
tried to murder him?
He was
Yep.
the one he slashed the throat of, and Dover Stealth was also there, and you managed to escape out the two little places.
I really don't recall that.
Really? You
I
went out
saved
the
the
shit
day.
pipe?
Remember?
The shit pipe
No,
in
no,
the
no,
chimney?
I don't remember Nevada's throat getting slashed.
Oh,
That
yeah.
happened.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that happened.
He threw him to the ground and slashed his throat when you guys escaped, and then blew up the whole fucking wall.
But Ryla did save him, right? I
Yes,
remember
no,
that.
he did survive. Yeah, he didn't succeed in killing him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm
he
goddamn
did try.
champion.
But yeah, he did try for sure. And then you guys were rescued by police who had heard the explosion come up, and you had recovered Wolfgang. Sir Wolfgang? No, Dr. Wolfgang von Recklinghausen, and the documents that he had that provided some evidence. The evidence exactly. I think I put it in your notes, didn't I? His note.
No, I don't know. I don't think I did.
The documents. It was basically proof of some smuggling that was going on that appeared to have the implications that some major weapon was being created, and some sort of warship or battleship or something illegally, and those were the documents that he had. It also implicated McBannon in something. The factories that were all having these issues or these repeated smuggling things coming up were all funded by McBannon.
Can't remember. Was McBannon, was he the mayor or was he the mayor's
he's the mayor.
second in command? So we've got
Cillian
direct evidence
Creed
against
was the
mayor
second.
now.
Yeah, and Cillian Creed was the second in command, which was this man that you just fought here, the Shadow Operative. So now you've got direct evidence that implicates him, not to this murder though, but you have direct evidence that implicates him to smuggling of these materials.
Right.
Yeah.
It
But
can
that
be tangentially linked to the murder because they were papers that Wolfgang was trying to get out of the consulate.
But you said that our characters might think that this alone, smuggling of these goods, he might have had permission, but not permission type thing, or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely think there's still a few missing pieces we need to put together. Like, we know that, for example, we know that the Cal group is involved in this, but we still are pretty foggy on the details. And I think chasing that lead up might lead us to more info about the murder itself.
If I remember correctly, I think last session we were talking about going to the tavern or something.
Yeah, the Thinking
I
Man's
think-
Tavern.
Yeah, I think we're going to do the Thinking Man's Tavern, then we're going to meet up with Hannah Montana.
Right. Okay. Hey, she's cleaning up a rack. Okay. she's a good girl now.
Hang on one second.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab some food real quick.
Okay, so you're wanting to go to Thinking Man's Tavern?
Yep, I think we were going to go there in the evening, have a few drinks
Alright.
after. And I was going to catch up with a docker that I know, see how he's doing.
Okay, so you're wanting to go in the evening, eh?
Yep.
Alright, so the Thinking Man's Tavern, it lies a few streets off from the main docks of Bosom Strand. It's fairly noticeable for the cobbled together statue that stands by its entrance. An assortment of flotsam and jetsam assembled into the shape of a man sitting deep in thought. That's why it's called the Thinking Man's Tavern. Inside, the tavern has 7 main sections. It has the bar, with stools for 10 and tables for an additional 30-ish. The common room, with tables for 60 on the ground floor and another 40 in an upstairs balcony. And each floor has a lavatory with plumbing. It's quite nice. There's a patio in front of the building with seating for about 10 and the statue itself sitting alongside. There's the game room on the ground floor, which seats 30. There's a pool table and a storage closet that holds various game supplies. That when you walk in, there's a few people playing various board games and card games. There's a riot room on the uppermost floor. It has limited dining space, but its chairs are usually claimed by writers, artists, and philosophers
Rightists?
who just want to sit in a dormer window, drink, scribe, sketch, or share their latest thoughts and ponderings with each other. And the kitchen on the ground floor in the back, the basement, and occasionally you see staff members coming to and from the basement with various, big hunks of meat, cured meat, and barrels of wine to fill up the bar. That's the place. So when you walk in, the tavern has a generous mix of performers, revolutionaries, intellectuals, and poseurs to the same. 2 main groups, you notice, and the larger proportion of these people here appear to be dockers as well.
No, yeah.
So when you first enter, step in through the front door, I guess, and there's a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a rumble in the ground, not just limited to this building. It feels somewhat like an earthquake, as a few people start to cry out in surprise, and a couple of glasses topple off tables and crack. There's an orc sailor nearby who cries out, "Earthquake!" But before anyone has any chance to dive under a table or into a doorframe, the shaking stops almost immediately. And people are sort of momentarily nervous, looking around until a guy speaks up from a table near the bar and calls out over everyone, "Don't listen to the panic! Flint has been geologically stable since it was founded. We could no sooner have an earthquake than a blizzard. It was probably just the ground settling." And everyone sort of gets back to their drinking and eating.
Oh dear.
What? Stable, but settling? I
You're asking this guy?
yeah.
Also, that's the outside of the tavern, sorry. Okay, so you say to this guy, who introduces himself as Hennett Reiner. He says, of course, as far as I know, and as far as all the scientists and men of knowledge in the city, this is solid bedrock. Nary a shake to happen. Might be nearby. Somewhere far in the countryside, just giving us a wee settle.
If it's stable, it shouldn't be moving or settling.
Logic is lost on this man. He simply brushes you off with a, don't come to me with that. I know what I know, and I know who knows what tells me it.
Would it be possible to just head up to the top floor quickly, just to look out the windows, see if I can see any signs of like smoke or anything coming from any place?
Yeah, absolutely. You can head up to the top. Roll me a perception check in the tower. You look out. You can see on the street outside there's a few people that are milling around and discussing and gesturing up and down the street. It looks like they're just discussing the brief shake. But you see nothing that suggests there's any fire or calamitous event after the small shake. It wasn't hugely violent. Certainly not enough to break anything off its foundations. The only thing that would break in this shake would be crockery or cutlery that was, perched on the edge of a bench or a table. There's a gentle rocking of the water that you can sort of see from afar from the second level. You can see a few waves, a bit bigger than normal, but nothing hugely dangerous. Dangerous?
Okay.
That word?
Oh well. Do I see my good old friend Donovan anywhere in the crowd?
You don't see Donovan, from upstairs at least, but a man you do see, sitting amongst a couple of other burly men, is Tim's Grimsley.
Oh, was he was the guy we met in the first encounter, wasn't he?
Correct.
The doctor. Did we not arrest him?
He was arrested, yes, but he wasn't charged with anything. Or he wasn't jailed. He might be awaiting court time at this point.
Oh well.
And he doesn't notice you either. Like, he doesn't pick you out of the crowd.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We probably weren't exactly on the best of terms with him, were we?
I mean, he kicked a couple of your guys' asses and then got arrested, so... Who knows?
It's kind of a wash.
Yeah. I think I'll probably just leave him be for now, but make a note that he's here in case we want to talk to him later.
Alright. Who's doing anything downstairs? Orzov, Trabo, what are you guys doing?
Grabbing a drink.
Oh, yeah, sweet. You grab a gin and tonic. The bartender is pretty rude.
Pretty is he?
Shut up, Jeff. He's pretty rude and blunt, and he serves your drink, but as he puts it in front of you, he mistakenly, quote unquote, spills a great chunk of it over the bar, looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, accidents happen," and moves away.
I call him back. Could you please refresh my drink then?
He ignores your call and goes to serving others at the bar.
I look at Triborough. Think, shall I chuck the rest of the liquid at him? I go, accidents happen.
Is that what you're gonna do?
I'm
Well,
not asking,
accidents are unfortunate.
Can you pretend to give me a little push?
Sure, I'll give you a bump.
Alright.
Yeah.
You shoulder barge him a little bit, and
Subtly, man, subtly.
you splash the rest towards the barkeep.
Yep.
All right, and as he does, as you do, and it sort of sprays over him, he just looks back
I got accidents happen. I'm sorry.
and he doesn't say anything, but he turns away.
Making friends.
Yeah. Milo, what are you doing?
Oh, getting rice caught in my throat.
So you're having a meal.
Yes. No. I guess. Looking for any back rooms, kind of that seem not suspicious, but just looking for back rooms.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Basically, our initial lead to here wasn't it that the girl and her boyfriend sort of spent some time here?
Yes.
That's about all we know. I can't remember. I've got a feeling were there some circumstantial links to some Lork and cow activity in this tavern as well, or am I misremembering?
Don't think any Lork and Kel stuff pointed here.
Okay, I might have gotten some things confused.
But yeah, the main thing was that Nalasa, the victim of the crime, spent a lot of time here. So, Thuck, you're looking around. You don't see any strange rooms. It's possible maybe down in the basement, but you don't see an easy way to get down there without people questioning it, unless you were to try and sneak down beyond, out of sight and get a look down into the basement.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Do you head down? Roll me a stealth check, please. You go invisible. Just with the click of your fingers, you cease to exist. And you float through the floorboards down into the basement. So you get your way down the stairs. Someone comes out with a barrel, and you duck into the door without it, needing to be pushed open again. The basement itself is pretty mouldy. It's flooded about ankle deep, and it doesn't look long running that the water has flooded here so recently. Like, there's no water line, there's no like moss line or anything that shows that the water's been here for a while. And you can see a large crack in the wall going into the ground beyond, where water is sort of trickling down from the crack itself. This is a pretty fucked up looking basement. There's 4 or 5 barrels of 4 or 5 massive 5-foot wide barrels of probably ale or something in there that get tapped, and there's a couple of buckets underneath for emptying them out into, and smaller barrels that are the ones that you see people bringing up to the bar. So they obviously tap them here, take them upstairs. But you do see a cracked statue barely covering some sort of pathway going out the side of this basement. The statue is very similar to the one outside, but it's not made of detritus. It's sort of carved stone, but it's broken. The arm is missing that the head sort of leans on, thinking the arm is just completely missing, and one of the legs has shattered around at the base. Looks like it got brought down here due to long-term damage, and now serves as a way to hide whatever this pathway beyond is.
Shit. Exploring by myself is a super bad idea.
Nothing bad ever happens when you do that.
What could possibly go wrong?
Do any of us even know you're down there?
Nope.
That's the best bit.
Yeah, he went so quietly, you guys didn't even notice he left.
Not that we noticed anyways.
Exploring never hurt anyone. It's what you it's what you find that hurts you.
You know what? I'm gonna check for traps and then kind of I'm not gonna go all the way down, but I'm gonna just see where it leads to.
Yeah, of course. So you start looking down. You don't need to roll. There's no traps. It's not trapped. This tunnel leads to similarly flooded basements that appear to be of other establishments down the road. It looks like a service tunnel from when all these buildings were built that allow people to travel between them without traveling on the street. Poors and service workers, not nice to see walking around amongst the finer folk. And it appears this tunnel was originally built for that purpose. Now this area isn't so flash. It's probably not necessary, but the tunnels still remain from such a time.
I found the Docker Underground Railroad.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna head back up.
Okay. You head back up. And as you head back up, you're just in time to see this, what's his name? Hennet Rhinus clapping his shoulder onto Trabro and attempting to leap into a long conversation of which he has very little intent of letting Trabro speak.
What's the conversation about?
Would you like to hear it?
I'm guessing
Yes.
something to do with rocks.
It is redundant.
Incoming wall of text.
Yeah, basically. Feel free to interrupt at any time, please.
But
he
he said he had very little intention of letting me speak.
Says, my good man, I have an assignment. In any society, there are rituals of interaction to establish authority and mark the passage of one stage of life to another. You, as a law officer, must be familiar with these rituals, particularly the one where you ask questions. The suspect claims he knows nothing, and you, by turn, explain how you'll punish those who do not cooperate. But this is an old tradition, you see, and we live in modern times. We live in what some call an age of reason. A few of the ladies and gentlemen in this fine establishment would prefer it. We're an age of revolution, which gets a couple of cries from people in the crowd. Revolution! And
Please, go on.
and like a revolution, reason requires us to turn our thoughts. Always approach a problem the same way with the same ritual, and you miss other possible paths to satisfaction. So I pose to you, constables, an assignment. Rather than convincing us that your authority is mighty, and we should quail at the thought of disobeying it, can you give us reason why your authority is legitimate? We can leave for another day the discussion of whether it serves our interest to let watchmen hold us to account for actions when we are arguably individuals of free will. Today, though, just tell us, me, if you will, why you think you have the right to enforce the law.
Well, you see, unfortunately, history has this tendency of making it as if people are mighty because they are right, yes? But in more reality, it's more you are right because you are mighty. You are able to enforce said laws.
But, you see, if you're only part of a governmental structure endorsed by society as a whole, what size society is necessary for a group to claim that it is separate and mightier than the whole?
Well, you see, this is a might imposed by you all. So, therefore, if it is an establishment that does not conform to any of your standards or expectations, as the society that elected us or placed us in power would have all the power in removing us. Do you think?
So what you're saying is, we have given you the power, and you're utilizing the power given by us to, protect us from harm?
Correct.
Sorry, can I just interject with a question?
Absolutely.
How is Clinton Riser government? Is there any form of democracy at all, or is it purely
King.
monarchy?
It's a matriarchy.
Yep. So it's not like a constitutional monarchy or anything. There's
Monarchy
no
in this
real...
one. Matriarch is gay. No, it's pretty much authoritarian monarchy.
Okay, good to know. Carry on.
Okay. He does continue, and he says, so if you're protecting us from harm, what makes you better arbiters of what is harmful than any of us?
Well, you see, it is normally the person that comes to us and saying they have been harmed, yes? So it is up to the populace to define what harm is.
Why don't you join the police force?
That is a purely reactionary police force. No, shouldn't you be shouldn't you be present in the prevention of crime?
Well, I'm an investigator, which normally comes with a reactionary role. When something goes wrong, it is up to us to define why and prevent it from happening again. A precedent gets set, and therefore, and then we enforce said precedent.
So is the precedent set by society, or is it set by how you deem a reaction is necessary?
Well, society sets the precedent. If say a man murders you in the street, yes?
Yes.
And then someone would report that to us.
So it's based on reports, yes. Perhaps why do you not allow us to tell you anything we dislike? And he points at the guy in the far end of the bar that's playing a harmonica. He says, "Have you heard this man's music? Don't they deserve to get arrested for that? It's atrocious. It's an assault on the ears. And I'm telling you to arrest this man. Is that?"
Well, in that case,
Can you arrest this guy for disturbing us while I'm trying to have a drink, Trevor?
you see, this is the quandary we know. Everyone has a different opinion on what is lawful and right and what is disturbing, and we generally go by the majority rule.
He seems pretty stoked with this, and with a smile. You've noticed a lot of the crowd is giving a huge amount of attention to this conversation, and this is sort of made clear when Hennett turns to everyone in the bar and says, "There we have it. Follow the forms of the ritual as discussed. Answer the constable's questions. I'll even do the same." And yeah, looks like you've managed to avoid a negative talk.
Although it sounds like we've seriously undermined our own authority with allowing Trubber's interpretation of things.
Trubber's normal interpretation is, "You're hurting people, stop it!"
I mean, Trubber's not necessarily wrong, though.
No, absolutely. And this guy is stoked, like, with your answer. Basically, just to let you know, if he didn't like how you answered, he would have done his best to hinder your investigation.
So I guess I'll probably have come downstairs by now, and I'll probably entirely missed that whole episode.
Is he gonna now do his best to help this investigation?
He's told everyone to answer the questions, to follow your authority, and that he will do the same.
Okay, can I have a gin and tonic, please?
This isn't the barman. This is just one of the crowd. Do you ask the barman?
Hennett.
Hennett. He looks and he sort of snaps a finger at the barman and says, "A drink for this fine gentleman here." And the barman comes over and whispers something to Hennett. He says, "No, I said a drink." And he begrudgingly pours you a gin and tonic and passes it to you without spilling.
Thank you, sir. It's been a rough few days.
Uh-huh. And he turns away. "So, what is it you come here to ask? Obviously, you do not drink at this establishment regularly. Hardly the place for men of your stature."
So we came to ask about if anybody knew anything of a girl who once frequented this establishment.
"Ah, girl! There are many girls that frequent this establishment. Depends on your flavor of girl, for who I can point in your direction."
Was I can't remember her physical description. She wasn't a tiefling, was she?
No, she was human.
No. I'll describe the woman and describe and say her name was Nalasa.
Nalasa! You see his face sort of drop for a minute. "I know this girl. New, I should say. Unfortunate news."
Indeed. Could you tell us, how did she spend her time here?
He looks around and he says, "Perhaps we should retire to the riot room and talk where it is quieter, no?
Very, very well.
Alright. So he heads upstairs. Right to the uppermost floor. Who's going with this guy and who's staying downstairs?
I look to Trevor, show one of us stay here, another one goes up.
You're the more level-headed of us. You go.
Shout out if you need help.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys go upstairs except Trapper. Doc, where are you going?
I guess I'll stay down here.
Alright. You and Trapper stay down here. So, Dave and... Oh, sorry, Orzov. No, fuck. Yeah, Orzov and Dimitri, yeah. Sorry, I was getting confused as to what your character was, JD. So Orzov and Dimitri head upstairs with this man, Hennett. And you go upstairs, you find a table that's sort of away from a few other people that are talking and quietly reading books, blah, 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 blah. And sit down, he says, so, I imagined it was only a matter of time. It took a while to come ask here, actually. I'm quite surprised. But,
But we kept on. There have been many things happening, and we kept getting sidetracked.
nod.
But
I heard about the fire. I assume that's kept all of the emergency and law enforcement individuals quite busy.
indeed, it has. Very. An awful tragedy.
So, what I can offer you is Nalasa. Well, she'd spent some time here recently. Myself and a few other professors. We like to think of ourselves as professional students more than professors. We don't claim to be masters of any one part of knowledge. We strive to be constantly. He goes on to describe his dickheadedness continuously for a while. We attend Pardright University and have done so for more than a decade. But we are here weekly for meetings, and well, some of us are here nightly for meeting the bottle. And recently, Nalasa had made friends with our group. She'd been here many times previously. I was hanging out with that god-awful harmonica player, Jared, his name is, and the band, as they call themselves, his musician idiot friends. She normally hung out with them, but only recently, before her unfortunate accident, become friends with a number of myself and the professors.
Did she was bring a man with her often? A young boy, I believe, who worked in the embassy.
Ha! She never brought a man, but the men did long after her. Every guy who was in here, when she would walk in, she never, other than Jared, never gave any of them time of day. But she was a strange one. She showed interest in this group only after finding out that I'd spent a year in Chrysalia. I'd been down there studying the fossils of dragons and demons near Alès Primos, but as soon as she found out I'd spent any time there at all, she quickly became a limpet to our group.
Where, sorry?
Chrysalia, the other country in this game. I'll link it. Is that link? Nope, that didn't link.
What's it? Oh,
Sacred Kingdom of Chrysalia.
Sounds like a theocracy.
Probably.
That's because it is.
Yes. She would often ask me to write correspondence in the language of Chrysalia to to make a good impression to whoever it was she was writing to. The content of these letters led me to believe it was... Well, I don't suppose you've ever heard of a man, Morgan Cipriano?
The
Doesn't ring a
soprano singer?
bell.
What was that, Oza?
The soprano singer?
No. So that was all these letters were addressed to. I'll put it in chat. I mean, I assume she was using a code because the letters, well, they often didn't make sense or didn't relate to reality. She would often mention the weather, though talking about the day's weather when it was, saying it was sunny outside when it was a dreary, miserable afternoon, and vice versa. So,
Sorry, out of character. Could we
Yep.
get a quick primer on what we know of the Hannah Saloin terrorist? Because we know that this girl was an agent of theirs, wasn't she?
you have heard that yet?
So I'm just trying to work out how
This
how it
person
fits
he's
into
talking
that.
about has no link to Hannah Saloin that you know of.
Yep. But I'm just wondering, sorry, I'm wondering,
No, you're right.
sort of what we know about, her, her organization and what her goals are, and I'm just wondering how this information about Chrysalia might fit in with those goals.
Okay, let me give you what you know of Hannah Saloin. Okay. Oh, that's Sakana. Oh, my NPC card's not showing. Hang on. Sorry, let me pull it out. Sakana. Okay, page. Okay, so not a whole heck a lot of about her. You know that she is a terrorist, a Fey terrorist. She is part of a group that are very much against the sort of industrial revolution, as it were, believing that it's part of the reason why the disconnect from the magics and the Feywild and all the other planes to the material plane are occurring. She came from a family of Denorans, and she fled Daenor about a year ago and found her way to Flint. And in doing so, it's rumored that her magical powers awoke when she started the good fight, and she sort of rose quickly through the ranks of these terrorists, and was sheltered by druids in the Cloudwood, and has since made numerous attacks back towards Daenor as well as things, you call them actions, attacks in Flint.
Okay.
She's known to have a bit of a stubborn streak and a bit of a chip on her shoulder. And yeah, that's about all you know about her right now.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that. Sorry for the derail.
No,
but,
that's right.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask him. Could you tell me a little about what this research, or say what this, what you found that seemed to pique our interest?
So this is Nalasa again. You asking what piqued your interest?
Yeah, I'm asking about Nalasa now,
Yeah.
and about what this guy found that piqued her interest.
He tells you that it wasn't anything he found. She seemed more interested in the fact that I had spent a year in Cassilia, and I think she really just wanted me to write these letters for her. I think it was beyond her education level. I don't mean to be rude. She was a clever girl, but not book smart.
So she was a raptor?
A what?
A raptor.
Yes, a velociraptor.
Velociraptors.
Clever
They're cool
girl.
looking.
And so you were the main group that she associated with her.
No, only recently. At first, it was always that band. It is suggested that band, well known to have connections with the Cloudwood Brigands, but I don't think they are part of the group themselves.
So no one else other than you and the band?
Occasionally she would drink with other patrons, but not with any regularity, we noticed.
Anyone of the band that she particularly took a liking to?
Yes, the man I mentioned, Jared.
And that's not the same name as the guard, right?
No,
No, it's a different person. That she seems to have never brought the guard here at all.
Do the guards said that they used to go here? It's been so long ago, I can't remember.
don't believe he did.
I think they went to like a little wee house that we found or something, didn't they? I'm getting the feeling that she sort of keeps her groups of contacts very isolated from each other.
Yeah.
Didn't she used to stay at that factory, the one that blew up?
Yeah, she did briefly before the end. She told the what's his name? She told him that she was having some trouble, and he put her up for a few weeks.
Yeah, that was living, not like spending all time there. That even mentioned that she wasn't there all that often.
Right.
Oh well, unless orders of you can think of anything else to ask, thank you for your time.
Do you remember
Please give
any of these letters that you wrote for her?
Do I remember? No, like I said, they were fairly nondescript. Just how we use, describing the weather, describing events that happened here that were unimportant, unremarkable.
Did you trying to think? Did you maybe see any patterns? Like maybe I'm thinking of like a coded message, maybe.
I'm absolutely sure she used a code, but it never bothered me. I never bothered to find out. Did not affect me so.
I thought a student such as yourself would love to solve puzzles like codes and messages.
Ha! I'm a student of philosophy, not a student of silly ciphers.
That is quite a philosophical task.
He shrugged. I think we're about at the end of my usefulness to you. I'm going to excuse myself. And he gets up.
Thank you. I was going to say thank you for your time.
He nods.
My
Anytime.
regards to Professor Kurtsinov, if you ever see him. I find his lectures on eschatology most enlightening.
Of course. And he nods and stands up and excuses himself. Downstairs, Trabra and Ryla. You guys what, just standing having drinks?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. As you
Nothing else comes to light.
No, nothing really sticks out until Thames Grimsley, which I don't think Trabro knows, but Ryla certainly does. Thames approaches the two of you at the bar and addressing Ryla says, "Long time no see, officer."
I'm sorry, I just got back. What happened?
Oh, okay. Tim's just came up and said basically, "Hello, long time no see," to you and Trabo.
Okay. Oh, it's you. Oh, wonderful. How are you doing? How's it going? You look good.
Yes, I feel good. How's your friend? I can't remember his name. I just remember how he looked when he was laying on the ground.
Oh, you're a clever one. Oh, he's fine. Thank you for asking.
He nodded. No problem. So why are you here? What brings you to this dive?
Oh, government subversion, the typical stuff, right?
I thought you were coming to rub it in that you bloody governmental types had dealt with my union's protests. Huh? Bet you're proud of it? Came to show off that you put the little man down?
Wait, what?
The protests outside the factory? The ones organised by my union?
I think it was probably good. That it was shut down. The fire that would have caused far too many harm.
He's referring to the fire and insinuating that you used that to shut down the protests.
Right, sorry, I was thinking of something that was happened before the fire.
No, because it was still like that night there weren't people outside, but the workers were still inside.
Yeah,
I was
talking about the boat fire thing.
No, he's referring to. He's insinuating that you basically, the government, not you personally, lit the fires to teach the little man a lesson and to stop the protests by burning thousands of workers.
I'm sorry. That's cold. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it was actually one of you revolutionary types. We tried to stop it.
Me? Revolutionary? See him not like clenching his fist anger, but a little vein in his neck starts to stick out. Never wanted revolution, just wanted fair wages. People to be able to look after themselves, look after their family. Reward for a hard day's work. Is that too much to fucking ask? That's a revolution, then yes, I'm a revolutionary.
Well, yes. Any manner of thinking that deviates from the standard it would be revolutionary.
He just looks at you. Sound like one of those bloody professors.
He is. Listen, I'm very sorry about what happened. I truly am. I never intended anything to happen. We tried to stop it. We really did. And I feel terrible that all those people died. I really do.
Fine. So why are you here then?
We're trying to get some information.
Yeah? About what?
What's her? What was her name again?
Murder.
Murder. Nalasa, that's right. Yeah, thanks. About the murder of a Nalasa Hume.
So there's a death of several thousand, and you're here asking about one girl.
Well, we already know what happened to the other people, unfortunately. This is different.
Alright. But yes, I've heard of it.
It seems she came here often?
Yeah. She used to come here, give those brigands in the corner. Used to run her petty larceny and burglary bollocks from that room back up top.
Did she ever bring anyone with her? Well, anyone that you figured was different from the rest.
Never brought anyone with, but she would meet people occasionally.
Anyone you ever recognized?
Yeah. Recognized. There was a captain that she met a couple of times. He, captains the Silver. The ship that I've seen in port a few times. But, never had anything to declare, never had anything to trade. But for some reason, he was, booming. His market was booming. Pretty sure he was a smuggler. Never could or would pin it on him if I wanted to. But I occasionally would see him meeting with some of the Cipriano family.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the information.
I think the name was Deniska Weria. That was the captain.
Hey, isn't Wary the guy that Sechem got alchemy stuff from?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Son of a bitch. All right, I'll stand up. They kind of like put a hand on his shoulder and say, again, thank you, and truly, I'm very sorry for what happened to those people.
Alright, roll me a diplomacy check. See if you, see if you're convincing.
Damn it.
He sort of nods, says, I appreciate your condolences. Perhaps check out Bayou Wharf. Shrugs. Might be someone of interest there.
We will, thank you. Trabro, you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Alright. He finishes his drink and heads back to his table.
So De Silva, huh? And Wary Eye?
So the name of the boat that he mentioned was the Silver.
Yeah, Silva, right?
Yep. And the person he mentioned was. Did I say Deniska?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Alright. Now, none of you have explicitly heard of Bayou Wharf, so that might be a place you need to find out about if you want to go check it out. But you don't know of any wharf or dock or anything that fits that name. And at this point, Dimitri, Orzov, you guys come back downstairs, meet up with Trabro and Ryla.
Alright, I assume we fill in each other on everything.
Yep.
Then I'd guess I'd suggest we maybe talk to the band players.
Maybe particular the harmonic.
Yep. Also, what was the name of the the bandit captain that Dimitri arrested? Could come in handy to know.
That was just one of the Skyseer guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's not the same group that they were talking about.
Let me have a look.
So I thought that he was one of the Bridgens who just happened to have, friendly contacts with the Skyseers.
Oh gosh, maybe I'm involved with this whole plot. I'm a Skyseer. Oh no.
It makes sense that you would be.
What was his name?
Can't remember.
I know it was on the switchback, right?
It was on the switchback, yeah,
Yeah.
with the showdown with them and the Cal people. Sorry, I keep sending you on tangents to this episode.
No, it's fine. It's a fairly tangential episode as it is. Yeah, it was the same group.
Okay. Oh, well, I guess we'll keep that in the back of our heads when we go talk to these fellas.
At least I valiantly saved the girl, so that's a bonus.
What I will do though is I'm gonna just go for a break before we come and talk to these dudes because there is the shittiest smelling nappy that I need to change. So we'll take 15 minutes now.
Sweet.
Okay.